last video, we talked about how a TikTok sidekick announced that she was essentially fleeing to Bali due to what was going on in her life. But what she didn't mention in that video is the fact that she spent the last couple of months harassing a professor in Idaho, accusing her of doing some of the worst crimes with little to no evidence whatsoever. And me saying little to no evidence is being extremely generous because her only evidence is her visions and tarot cards. And today we're gonna find out why she made that Bali video, because the YouTuber by the name of Mad Catster actually sent me the full lawsuit document. So massive shout out to him. But when I read through her legitimate legal response to the court, I'm gonna put this very lightly and say Bali might be a really good option for her. So today we'll be looking at some of the highlights of that. And before I play that, remember, this is what she said before she responded to the lawsuit.
People just don't get it. Like, I've been against people, big and small corporations and giants and systemic policies and racism, and won. They all regret coming against me. All of them. Now Rebecca is going to be added to that list of regretful people.
So let's see if it's the professor that's going to regret filing this lawsuit or not. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer. This is purely for entertainment and learning how to not respond to a lawsuit purposes. So I might get some stuff wrong. So if I do, please correct me in the comments down below so I can also learn. It starts off with Ashley Gilliard just denying a bunch of the allegations. Then it goes on to say the venue is improper for this case because the events giving rise to the claims of defamation took place on Ashley Gilliard's social media pages. There's no district in which this action may otherwise be brought except the U.S. District Court of Southern District of Texas. That doesn't quite make sense because everything that Ashley's alleging here happened in Idaho, so it makes sense for it to happen in Idaho. Again, I'm not a lawyer though. The complaint fails to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. Plaintiff's claims are barred by the substantial truth doctrine pursuant to Master versus New York Magazine and corporate. Plaintiff's claims are barred by qualified privilege. The 4 University of Idaho students were brutally murdered. Without the arrest of there's a presumption of danger to the public. University of Idaho constituents and Idaho residents discovering and revealing the with the intent to get them investigated and arrested is an act to warn others about harm and danger to bring to resolution to the problem. The statements were made in the best interest of public safety. Ashley Gilliard made these statements without actual malice. Therefore, qualified privilege permits Ashley Gilliard to make the statements that in the different circumstances would typically be considered defamatory. With this logic though, that means that anyone can slander anyone and claim that they are a as long as the actual is on the loose. I don't know what kind of big brain mental gymnastics this is, but okay. Plaintiff's claims are barred by fraud because they're false, prejudiced, frivolous, and claimed with malice to get away with unethical conduct, adultery, and plaintiff's claims are barred by comparative negligence. The plaintiff, Rebecca Schofield, committed the allegations that defendant Ashley Gilliard alleged as they're substantially true. The plaintiff, Rebecca Schofield, is at least 51% at fault for being accused of the allegations. Therefore, the plaintiff, Rebecca Schofield, may not recover damages. What is this? I mean, this woman has just doubled down so many times. I guess why not do it yet another time in a literal legal letter? I want to know, like, how did she get to that the professor is at least 51% at fault for being accused of the allegations? Make it make sense. But moving on, plaintiff's claims are barred by illegality because they are prejudiced pursuant to U.S. Code. Plaintiff's claims are barred by illegality. I am tired. I've slept for like 2 hours in the last 24 hours, but my son said dada for the first time to me today, so it's all worth it. Don't worry. Plaintiff's claims are barred by illegality because they're claimed with an intent to obstruct civil justice and with the intent to obstruct criminal justice pursuant to code. Counterclaims. Counterclaim plaintiff Ashley Gilliard bring these counterclaims against counterclaim defendant Rebecca Schofield and their attorneys. This is where it gets absolutely batshit. This is a doozy. I don't know how much we're gonna go through here, but wow. If you thought what we read so far is bad, you're in for it, guys. You're really in for it. As set forth, more below on December 21st, Rebecca Schofield and attorneys with blah, 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 blah. They filed a complaint against Ashley Gilliard, notwithstanding the fact that the claims are false, defamatory, with the intent to obstruct justice for the case of the murder of 4 University of Idaho students. All the victims' names. Ashley Gilliard was the only person aware of Rebecca Schofield's role in the of the 4 university students who spoke up about it. Have you ever been to Idaho, Ashley? Like, If you really are a psychic, what are the Powerball numbers? This is so insane. So she's claiming she was the only person who knew about this. Has no evidence. She just saw it in a vision and whipped out a tarot card. And by the way, I learned how to say tarot card now. Apparently it's not pronounced like carrot. I guess we learn something new every day. Ashley Gillard was apparently the only person aware of Rebecca Schofield's role in the murder of the 4 university students who spoke up about it to stop Ashley Gillard from, that's a big word, promulgating her testimony of Rebecca Schofield's role in the and to get away with the Rebecca Schofield and her attorneys, blah, 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 filed a frivolous, prejudice, and defamatory complaint against Ashley Gillard. Attorney, blah, 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 and Rebecca Schofield collectively executed a strategy to discredit, embarrass, humiliate, and assassinate Ashley Gillard's character by disseminating false statements in a press release that was disseminated worldwide and to the most of the major news outlets across America in the beginning of late December 2022 and continuing into January 2023. Now, these false statements apparently was that Ashley Gillard decided to use the community's pain for her online self-promotion. A false statement that Ashley Gillard made false statements about Rebecca Schofield knowing they were false. A false statement that Ashley Gillard had no basis to make factual statements regarding any of these events that occurred in Idaho. A false statement that said Ashley Gillard made false statements regarding Rebecca Schofield's involvement in the 4 University of Idaho students that were not based in substantial truth. A false statement that Ashley Gillard damaged Rebecca Schofield's reputation. A false statement that Ashley Gillard undermined law enforcement efforts, and a false statement that Ashley Gillard compounded the trauma that the families of the victims were experiencing. How was any of that false? Because that's pretty much exactly what she did. I'm pretty sure this is written by Ashley Gillard as well. I didn't see that she had a lawyer hired. I saw one of the top comments of her videos was, don't hire a lawyer, they will only hold you back. And I'm worried she took that advice. And then she lists like every single media outlet that I guess talked about her, including some YouTubers. Let's see, so it seems like Einaber, you got a shout out in the lawsuit, buddy. Look at that. Made it to the big leagues. Ashley Gillard's listing you in a lawsuit. Always cool to be mentioned in a lawsuit when you're not the person being sued. Then we have also, I think Marky was mentioned in this, and then another YouTuber by the name of Dr. Grande or Grand. Oh, and then Law and Crime Network. So that's cool. Didn't look like we made it into the cut in the lawsuit here. But I mean, hey, the more lawsuits I can avoid being mentioned in, the better. All right, so moving down to parties, it says counterclaim plaintiff Ashley Gillard is a individual residing in Texas. She's an author, entrepreneur, and United States Army combat veteran. Ashley, thank you for your service, but everything else you're doing is whack. But then she claims that Rebecca Schofield is a public figure. If anything, Ashley Gillard made her a public figure by accusing her of all this crap. Oh, and then Ashley called out the lawyers of Rebecca Schofield because apparently they called out Ashley for defaming Rebecca Schofield with full knowledge of the potential of the statements that Ashley Gillard made about Rebecca Schofield's role in the, the Idaho students could be true. Whoa. The claims against Ashley Gillard are in bad faith, lacking in fact, with no intent to harass, delay, and embarrass Ashley Gillard. I'm actually kind of blown away at how much she has written here. This is if the term digging your own grave was put into a legal document. I mean, this is insanity. And then she calls out Rebecca Schofield for publishing false statements that Ashley Gillard compounded the trauma of the families of the victims' experiences. Ashley's just really upset for all the media saying that she's saying a bunch of false statements. And then she quotes all the news articles. One of the attorneys of Rebecca Schofield made the false defamatory statement about Ashley Gillard knowing it was false and regardless of its falsity or not. The truth is the inverse. Ashley Gillard was trying to help the investigation as requested by Moscow Police Department. And then she has this whole bit claiming that all of those unhinged TikToks was a response to the police department in trying to help solve the whole case. Okay. After the defamatory allegations, Ashley Gillard was unable to focus on serving others and received less inquiries due to the damage to her reputation. If the truth was told, Ashley Gillard would have been able to serve more people, to include helping to solve the murders of musician Kirshnik Karibal, aka Takeoff, Shankella Robinson, Tiffany Valiante, Kevin Samuels, and Tamla Horsford. I probably butchered a couple of those names. I thought Kevin Samuels died from a heart attack. I'm so... What? This is a doozy, guys. This is really a doozy.
If being left speechless was a document.
So I love how she really just dropped the Uno reverse card saying that Rebecca Schofield is defaming her. And then there's a whole segment about Ashley Gilliard receiving harassing phone calls, emails, texts, and comments because of her videos, maliciously misdiagnosing her as insane, maliciously misdiagnosing her as crazy. I mean, your actions are insane and crazy, to put it lightly. What I'm getting from this is she is absolutely not self-aware whatsoever. Now Ashley is claiming emotional distress, mental distress, suffering, and anguish, including depression, shame, humiliation, shock, embarrassment, grief, anxiety, and fear. Ashley Gilliard suffered the loss of enjoyment of life. Ashley Gilliard typically travels on New Year's Eve, as she did for 2021. Instead, 2022, she chose to stay inside for fear of her life, arguments, and embarrassment. I mean, this is incredibly sad, but like, why would you make 100 videos with no evidence claiming that someone committed a terrible crime? If you're going to accuse someone for something on the internet, you have to have more proof than visions and tarot cards. That's for sure. Okay, so now like her relief, right? So she wants a mass press release with a statement that Ashley Gilliard approves. Every news outlet that this lawsuit was covered to social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, and all that, correcting the false claims made against Ashley Gilliard. She wants a mass press release with an apology to Ashley Gilliard that she approves for all the accusations made against her. She wants compensatory and punitive damages in the amount of determined by the judge. Attorney and court fees may arise now in the future or for any action related to this case. My understanding of this is she missed the original time to respond to the lawsuit. Then she hit him with the Uno reverse card and essentially accused them of defamation. And then she wants a public apology tour for defaming her. What do you say to that? So this is a prime example on how not to respond to a lawsuit, a case study. If you want to know how we got here, you should watch this video. But I'm gonna call it and see you guys in the next video. Peace.